Welcome to this showcase session brought to you by the European Platform for Urban Greening. And welcome to you, Anne, and thank you for being a part of this.
You're welcome.
Introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is Anne Laustsen. I work as a chief engineer at Aarhus Vand, and my specialty is climate adaptation.
Yeah.
And I've been working with stormwater and wastewater for more than 25 years, and the last 10 years I've been working with climate adaptation as Risvangen here is an example of.
So we are setting live, and we are standing in the middle of a large-scale climate adaptation project. And will you tell us a little bit about the dimensioning here and the project?
Yeah. Regarding Aarhus, the municipality of Aarhus, back in 10 years ago, there was made a decision that climate adaptation of the sewer system is actually separating stormwater and sewer in the combined areas. So we started a plan from 10 years ago and going onwards until 2080 or 2070, something like that, where we separate our combined sewer areas and turn them into separate sewer. So at a point, we started discussing with the municipality, could we, when we use as a utility, use very large amount of money, and the citizen as well use a large amount of money for separating their sewer system. Could we do more and deliver more back to the city than just 2 manholes in the road instead of 1 manhole, which is very interesting seen from a sewer engineer perspective, but perhaps not for the citizen. So this is the first area where we were going to separate stormwater and sewer, and decided to go all in on keeping the stormwater in terrain. So this is the area. And the purpose of the area was to separate stormwater and sewer, and on top of that, do climate adaptation so that we actually can handle a 100-year event in this area.
Okay.
And now we have a
little bit of traffic. Yeah. And then, how old is this area?
The area is
the project.
The project it is finished 5 years ago. So you can see the trees are not grown yet, but still, it's still, the vegetation is still changing, and everything is growing. But of course, the project is functioning and has been functioning for some years now.
Yeah. And now you are just able to see a little part of the project. So can you tell a little bit about the dimensioning? What have you been prioritizing from rainwater above the ground and rainwater in the sewage system?
We have tried to keep rainwater as much as possible on ground and in terrain. But since it is an existing, as you can see, all the houses here are older than 5 years. Since it was an existing area of the city, it's been necessary to use pipes somewhere, but only to transport water from one place to another where it was not possible to have stormwater on terrain.
Yeah.
And on the same hand, it's been looking from the house owner point of view. We were obliged to secure that all stormwater from the houses was able to gravitate from each property. So that was the basics on the dimensioning, apart from being able to handle a 5-year event with no floodings, and to handle a 100-year event with a maximum of 10 centimeters of stormwater on terrain.
Okay.
So that has been where the starting point.
Okay. And to give a picture to you guys on the other side of the screen, where are we in Aarhus, and where is the water going to end?
We are in the northern part of Aarhus, but on sort of a little bit of on the outskirts of the city, where we have all the one family houses, but we still have some flats as well in this area. So it's a lot of different types of houses here. The water from this area actually runs through down. Of course, it runs down the road, and here we have a forest at the end. And actually, the starting point of choosing exactly this project was that the water, when it comes to the other side of the forest, is at Bellevue, which is a very famous bathing place in Aarhus.
Yeah,
so and the municipality was a little unsecure about the bathing water quality, because we had an overflow here just in the forest. So they were worried about the bathing water quality.
Yeah, and that beach is the go-to beach in this
exactly,
area. Yeah,
exactly.
Yes.
So that was a very high priority to be able to secure the bathing water quality, and that was why we picked this area.
Yeah. And I know this area has been a starting point from the citizen involvement in these kind of projects, and I know it hasn't been easy.
No,
I think you have learned a lot from this.
I think we have, we've started calling this a pilot project, because this was the first time we were trying to handle stormwater on terrain, and we did a lot of involvement of the citizens. We had big town hall meetings, we had small meetings, we had meetings where we would go into a garden and with a entrepreneur and talking with the people, how could you solve handling stormwater on terrain exactly at this house. People could have a visit from a advisor to their own house. So we did a lot of different meetings. We had a tent where all different contractors and could come and showcase their possibilities. So there was a lot of involvement of the citizens in the area.
Yeah.
So that was to them not. It was difficult to understand why the utility that took care of stormwater and sewer asked about problems in the area. So we changed that together with our municipality. So actually now the municipality goes out and makes a vision for the climate adaptation of an area when we go out. So they do the initial involvement of the citizens, and they get the landmarks that we have to try to fulfill as a utility when we do our project. Then we do the involvement of the citizens later on, when we actually are closer to being able to show people what we're going to do. So and this is shown to be a positive way to work with involvement of the citizens, because we are actually able to we take the roles they expect, that the municipality talks about how to make a nice environment in the city, and when we as a utility come out, we can actually answer the questions, where do I connect to the sewer system? Because that was very frustrating up here, that when we did this early involvement of the citizens, we couldn't answer the questions they wanted to answer. Where do I connect to the new system? So
so a different role.
We have shifted the roles between the utility and the municipality.
Okay, and can you recommend this for cities otherwhere in Europe?
I think it's very important to think about how you manage the different role and who makes sense for the citizens ask you about what and tell you about what.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you'll get a lot of frustrations.
Do people use this area as a recreational area now?
They do use it as a recreational area.
Yeah.
A little further down, there's places where we have fitness instruments, and there's a place where you can play volleyball and basketball and football here in the middle of the streets, and people use it for walking as well. And in there's another area with a lake, it is a stormwater basin, but it looks like a lake that's used for recreational purposes as well.
Yeah.
So they use it up here.
So the strategy from the municipality to use rainwater as an active part of the city environment, do you think that
it has, what we experience is when we come to other parts of the city, they say, we want something like they have up there in Risvangen.
Okay.
So I think perhaps that's the best way of seeing that it's a successful scene from the citizen point of view.
Yeah. If you are a private company, like a landscaping architect or a gardening company, how can you be a part of a project like this? How do you lay it out for?
Yeah. In Aarhus Vand, we have. Now we get into the difficult English part. We have to. We have to tender with our consultants and contractors, of course, because that's how the law is, and we do that every 6 years. And we form a partnership. Right now we have a partnership called Vand Partner 2.0, where we for 6 years work together with consultants and contractors and a lot of different other companies. And when they have won the bid, they are the ones who do all the calculations and the construction works.
Okay. Yeah.
And landscape architects and whatever's needed to do this.
Yeah. How was the priority between the blue and the green grids here? How much did you put into greening and biodiversity? And
well, because it was a combined project with the municipality of Aarhus, we as a utility has to focus on the blue.
Yeah.
But we have done greening as this is that's what you see here is stormwater basins, which of course are green because what we use for cleaning the stormwater is filter soil in this area. So
so below the basins,
at the surface of the basins is filter soil, and as well as our curbside.
Along the roadside?
Along the road, we have Bible curbside detention. Yeah. We can't find the English word for it. And swales along the roads.
Yeah.
So, for instance, the trees here, there were some trees in the middle of the road before, which we had to cut to do this. So part of the trees is paid by the utility, and part of the trees are paid by the municipality of Aarhus as a part of planting a lot of more trees in the municipality. So this is how we co-finance things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anne and Anne-Marie?
Yeah, I think we forgot to say...
We have a question
yes.
From the audience. How do you make sure that the companies who won the tender is good enough to work on the project like this?
That's part of the pre-qualification, and it's part of the assessment when we assess the contractors and the consultants here, of course, they have to show that that they have experience in working with these type of projects, because that's it's been very clear in the last tender, which the contract period started a little more than a year ago. So it was very important in the tendering period. We had put very much stress on working with a blue-green solution, biodiversity, working with the whole water cycle. So that was part of the tendering that all these companies had to describe.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's been very important to secure that we had good companies that wanted and had different or had the experience in these areas.
Yeah. Yes.
There's
One more
an additional question within this part, and it goes like, what new skills does this require from the employees doing the maintenance?
I think the new skills is to be aware of working on the surface. My people looking for the maintenance, they look for the maintenance of the water.
Yeah.
And the municipality of Aarhus take care of the green maintenance of the area. But each of them has to be more aware of actually green maintenance being a part of the water maintenance. And on the other hand, our colleagues doing the maintenance of the water needs to be more aware of the green maintenance. But it has been a part of the project that we wanted to do that sort of maintenance that we are best at. So the municipality is good at doing green maintenance because that's what they do every day. And my colleagues are good at doing water maintenance because that's their business.
So you don't work together or collaborate about the maintenance?
There's been maintenance described, what maintenance is going to be done regarding green maintenance and blue maintenance. And to my knowledge, it's actually functioning, but it's at the end of the projects where I'm not that much involved.
That made me a little bit curious. Can you tell a little bit about the municipality and the utility? How do we work together in Denmark as these two?
We try. More than 10 years ago, the utilities was by law taken away from the municipalities, and we were a separate company. And it has had many. Well, sometimes I think it's like when kids move away from their parents in the first year, you have to sort of find your new roles, and a little bit of fighting is sometimes being done. But I think we've been more mature now. The kids have grown up. Especially here in Aarhus, we've always tried to have a very good cooperation with our municipality. I know there's been difficulties other places in Denmark, but we try always to agree on what we do before we go out. So sometimes we close the door and discuss a little bit, but when we open the doors, we agree.
Okay. Yeah.
So I think you have to respect, because we respect that we might have different points of view, but that's because that we are put here in different roles by the law.
Yeah, I think we have another question.
Back to the maintenance, but it's about the respect and how you divide things. How do you make sure they are more aware of each other's work, so that the gardener from the municipalities doesn't just come and fill the bioswale because it's a hole in the ground and it's hard to mow the lawn? So what do you do to make them aware of each other's job or function?
Yeah, that's a good question, I think.
That's a good question, because as I said, it's in the part of the project where I'm not that familiar, but I know that there's been starting from my colleagues. There's been a lot of talk about how to take care of the water.
And I think it's a movement here in Aarhus as well as in the rest of Europe about being aware of the green and the biodiversity, and people are learning.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it is a problem because the budgets for the municipality is being cut and being cut and being cut. So it's difficult to foresee how we are going to actually get the money to continue maintenance at this level when we have a lot of more projects coming up. So they are.
So that's a priority.
It's a priority now, but we can also see that the municipality needs bigger budgets if we are going to continue doing what we've been doing here.
Yeah. Yeah. Are there any further questions?
Nope. There is no more questions in the chat right now, but there's a bit of delay.
Yeah.
So just from my part, and it's really interesting to hear about how you work with the local community as well and the problems. And as you said as well, the drawings match what you see in reality. But what can we do so they actually understand it in forehand? Is there something that we can do better, do differently, or is it more or less that we just need more showcases like Risvangen so we can bring people?
To me, it's obvious that showcasing, that go here and see what will hit you. It's really makes people better understand what they are up to. But I don't know if we can do more into 3D visualization. We've been talking about that, if perhaps to give for people Google glasses. Virtual reality, because we use
take a walk in the future.
Exactly, we already use virtual reality at home. For instance, when we do new pumping station, we can give the guys at the workshop, they can actually visualize how a new pump station is going to look and say, move that little, I can't service this. So perhaps we could take that out and use this when we come to a new area. That might be in the coming years, I think.
Yes. Let's go in.
In the past years, for sure, you have learned a lot by doing a project like this. Is there something you would do differently?
As we mentioned, the involvement of the citizens, we do that differently now because we learned it the hard way up here that was not a good way to do it. Actually, what we look into in what we've taken of learnings from this area as well was that we've been looking at a 100-year event in the future to secure the area to that. And we have had a little thoughts about, was this actually too big for this area? And was it too expensive compared to what damages we could avoid? So what we're taking of learnings from this area is that now when we do new areas, we actually do a calculation. How many damages do we foresee? What's the cost of doing different things to avoid the damages, and does it balance? So what we do now is that yes, if it's cheaper to do something, to do climate adaptation, than to take the damages, we do climate adaptation. But we still work with stormwater in terrain because we always have to secure the area for a 5-year event. It's only if we need to do more climate adaptation on top, we look into, does it pay off?
Yeah.
No more questions.
No. Well, thank you for being with us here. And thank you, Anne, for participating in this showcase session.
You are welcome.